Three, two, one.
This is going to be fun.
Hello, everybody, and welcome to another episode of Franchise Deep Dive with Jake and Josh, the podcast where we break down, dissect, and discuss all of your favorite and least favorite movie franchises. I'm Jake.
And I'm Josh.
And today, dare I say, we bring you a fantastic episode of Franchise Deep Dive.
Yeah, hopefully it's fantastic.
You know, we don't get a lot of chances to do wordplay and use puns. So I thought I'd take that opportunity. But yes, guys, of course, if you didn't look at the title of the episode, we are of course starting a 2-part series, kicking off talking about all of the Fantastic Four movies, aside from the one from the 1990s, the Roger Corman one, because as far as I know, you can't find that one online. Maybe you can. I don't know, but we're not about to discuss.
They erased it from history.
Yeah, we're not about to discuss an unreleased movie for a couple of reasons. I don't know. I feel like it's always my thing too with some like posthumous albums where it's like, I don't know, the artist usually wants final say on a product before it goes out. So who knows if that's the movie that Roger Corman actually wanted people to see. Either way, we're getting sidetracked already. But yes, we, with the new upcoming Fantastic Four First Steps movie, the latest MCU entry coming out, we thought it would be fun to kind of talk about the 3 Fantastic Four movies leading up to that. So in this first episode, we're going to be talking about the Tim Story duology, Fantastic Four from 2005 and Fantastic Four Rise of the Silver Surfer from 2007. And then in the next episode, we're going to be discussing I think it's 2015. Yeah, 2015 Fant Four Stick, directed by Josh Trank, and then pairing that with the new Fantastic Four First Steps movie. So we thought that would be kind of fun. But without further ado, let's just get right into things. I want to kind of kick this off how we have been kind of recently, because I think it's kind of a fun little segment, is just what your history is with these Fantastic Four movies. If you have any, if you don't, that's okay. But so what's your deal with these movies?
I remember seeing it a good amount when I was like, I guess like 11, maybe 12, and I remember loving it, and all I wanted to do was just be Johnny Storm. Who didn't, I guess. Always loved them. Thought they were a lot of fun. Thought they were good. I remember thinking a lot of those 2000s Marvel movies were good. I thought Daredevil was good. All of them. I never saw Catwoman, I don't think. Maybe I did. I don't think I liked it.
That's DC anyway, so we're good.
Yeah. I might have even thought Ghost Rider was good. So, yeah, I had a very low bar for these Marvel movies, but definitely always liked this one. I don't really remember Silver Surfer as much though, but that's kind of all I remember. I don't really remember when I saw it, how, like, if I watched it by myself. I don't really remember it being like a Spider-Man as much, but I remember seeing it a good amount. And as I got older, I kind of started watching it for like laughs, pretty much.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
that's pretty much it.
No, I mean, I'm kind of in the same boat as you with these movies. I'm with all of those superhero movies. I mean, when you're a kid, you don't really like or dislike anything. You're just happy to be watching a movie. So, same with all those superhero movies. I don't know if I ever thought Daredevil was good. That might be a stretch, but I definitely remember loving these Fantastic Four movies, especially the first one. I mean, I would have been 8 years old, I think, when the 2005 film came out, and I just adored it. I mean, you're coming off the heels of Spider-Man 2, which came out in 2004. You had already had 2 X-Men movies by that time, and as a kid, I loved the Spider-Man movies and the X-Men movies, so, like, I don't know, like, yeah, just when Fantastic Four came out, it just kind of hit me at the right time. Just fell in love with all of it. The cheesiness, I thought, like, Doctor Doom was super badass, and it's same with you, like Johnny Storm. You know, you just think he's just like the coolest guy. He's always got like a hot girl around his arm, and he's got the coolest powers of the bunch. But yeah, it's kind of same. I I also don't remember Silver Surfer as much. Maybe because I was a little bit older, but not I don't know. But yeah, I have more familiar memories with the first one. Definitely saw both of them, but not I never loved them as much as I loved Spider-Man or X-Men. I do remember that. Like I really did enjoy them, but Spider-Man for me as a kid was like that was my guy.
Oh, I remember something to add.
Yeah.
I sometimes forget about this, but then I weirdly remember it randomly. I was Doctor Doom as a kid. For Halloween.
Big Doctor Doom fan over here, I see.
I thought he was super cool.
Dude, he just has like, I mean, just face value. He has such a sick design. Maybe not in these movies, but he has a sick design.
So do you think his design was like that awful in these movies?
I don't think it's the worst thing. I just don't think it's good. I think it has more to do with like the color palette. Like I wish his like kind of cape cloak was more green like it is in the comics, and I wish they kind of went with like a grayer look for his actual like mask and his armor, whereas I like the more kind of silver look. Like if they had made his armor kind of look like how Silver Surfer kind of looks, not in terms of like using CGI, but just like the color and shit, I think that would have looked a lot better. But yeah, it's not the worst. It's better, and we'll get to it in the next episode. It is 1,000 times better than what they do in Fant 4 Stick, but yeah, I don't know. Yeah, but with that out of the way, I guess we should just get right into discussing these movies. Of course, we are starting with Fantastic Four from 2005, of course directed by Tim Story, budget of 100 mil, box office of 333.5 mil, and a Rotten Tomato score of 27%. Not a critical darling.
That's really low.
I was shocked when I was doing like my due diligence and getting all that stuff down. I really thought it was going to be like a 40, 45 maybe even like a 50. Like I didn't realize the critics weren't the biggest fan of Fantastic Four, needless to say. But I'll set the stage with the IMDb synopsis given. A group of astronauts gain superpowers after a cosmic radiation exposure and must use them to oppose the plans of their enemy, Dr. Victor Von Doom. I think that synopsis is misleading because all of that is pretty much the last like 30 minutes of the movie. As once they get their powers, I feel like not much happens for like the next 45 minutes to an hour of this movie.
Yeah. I think it's like less than a half hour, the last half hour. I'm pretty sure it's like last like 15 minutes, maybe 20. That like shit kicks into gear. Before that, you have like one action sequence. Not really a scene, it's just kind of like a sequence, but like there's no fighting at all. But what is it? It's just them learning about their powers, getting a whole bunch of like Reed Richards explaining in like scientific terms how everyone's power works.
Don't forget the pranks. They got pranks.
The pranks, and a lot of them just besides Johnny. And I get Thing not wanting to be like a bunch of orange rocks, but
yeah,
they don't want these powers, which is like just the weirdest part about the movie to me.
So I will say there is one scene that I think justifies their rightful fear of these powers, and I think it's Johnny brings it up, and he's like, or maybe it's Reed. I think Reed says to Johnny, like, we don't know anything about these powers, or we don't know what could happen. And I think it's Torch. He says like why can't Ben turn it off, but we can? And they're like, well, that's what we got to figure out. And I was like, all right, that does make sense. Like, you don't know. Like, Ben turned into a rock and is stuck as a rock. So it, like, could, theoretically, it makes sense for them to be worried that, oh, like, Sue could just turn invisible and never become visible again. Or Johnny could catch on fire and not be able to turn that off. Or Reed could just turn into a big stringy goo pile or something, which does happen in these movies. But I don't know. That didn't bother me as much, but I think the one like we just talked about, the biggest thing I noticed this time around, because I haven't seen these movies in probably like 8 to 10 years. I caught a glimpse of them like a month or two ago. My roommate had thrown them on, and it was like before we started recording an episode, and he was watching them, and so I caught like little glimpses and stuff, and they, especially the first one, super stuck in my mind. But in terms of like taking notes this time around, I was like, there really is just no plot. There's nothing moving the story forward. And it really feels like they just took that scene of Peter Parker learning his powers in that first Spider-Man movie. They took that like 10-minute segment and they stretched that out to like an hour of this movie. And we'll get more into it with Fant Four Stick when we talk about that movie. That movie goes in the complete opposite direction in terms of like the characters learning to use their powers and the whole origin story thing. But yeah, like nothing happens in this movie. Even Doctor Doom as a villain has like such little presence in the story up until that last 20-30 minutes. It's like he's not doing anything. Every like, I don't know, 10-15 minutes they show him looking gloomy in his penthouse, and then last act happens and it's like, oh, he's like, I gotta go kill the Fantastic Four. It's time. It's that time. It's the third act. We gotta do this. It just I don't know.
Is Victor Victor is supposed to be, I know Doctor Doom is like one of the smartest beings in the universe, but in this movie he's supposed to be smart, but do we ever see him being smart?
No. In this movie God, I gotta vent this out. I gotta rant a little. I'm a huge Doctor Doom fan. I'm a really big Fantastic Four fan in general, like in terms of like the comics and stuff. I really like those characters. Even like the really cheesy early 1960s run from Jack Kirby where it's super goofy. Like the first time you see Doctor Doom in the Fantastic Four comics, he like tricks the Fantastic Four into coming to his island, and they step on a platform and it sends them back in time to pirate times, and the Thing puts on a fake beard and becomes Blackbeard. Like that's like the first introduction to that character. It's goofy. I love it. But that a little side quest there. But the way that they butcher my boy Doctor Doom in this movie is so goddamn disrespectful. They take a character that I can only describe as like what you would get if you combined the intelligence and the tech savviness of Iron Man with the magical abilities of Doctor Strange. They take that character and they turn him into the most generic businessman character that you will ever see in a movie. And what's worse, and we kind of talked about this a little bit before we started recording, but all they're doing is essentially the Green Goblin story from that first Spider-Man movie. It's the exact same thing. It's, oh, hey, like, you know, you're losing your company. We're the shareholders. We're trying to push you out, and it causes them to become evil or whatnot. But it's just done with so much less oomph, I guess. Like, you don't have Willem Dafoe chewing the scenery in every fucking scene. You don't have like the crazy wackiness. He's just like a stale rich dude. It's boring as fuck.
Isn't he also like he's a master with martial arts, right? Isn't he like extremely talented with like a fucking sword or something? I don't know if that's like in all comics or just like some.
I don't know if I've read any comics with him using a sword, but I'm not like beyond the belief that he is a very capable fighter. Like one of my favorite comic books of the Fantastic Four is Fantastic Four Life Story, which I was just able to read recently for the first time, and it's really cool for anybody interested. It's 6 issues, and each issue takes place over a decade, and it's supposed to show what would happen if the Fantastic Four like aged in real time. So in the 60s they get their powers, and you see their story all the way up into the 2010s, and it's really, really cool. But the first time that Doctor Doom reveals himself in this comic to the world, he goes to a committee, a summit of all the world's best superheroes, goes there and just fucks them up. Just dismantles all of them in like a matter of seconds. Like, he's that powerful. He is an Avengers level threat. He is that guy. And again, we get a generic fucking businessman. And I don't even think it's the actor's fault. I just think that they wrote him as just so bland and lifeless. Like, you have a and getting heated already. And now we're not even getting a true fucking adaptation again with Marvel because we're getting fucking Iron Man as Doctor Doom. You know what? I'm mad.
Now, what if they do like a very faithful version of them?
Here's the thing. I think they will. I think they're going to try to go way more comic accurate with this adaptation. That's great. That's dandy. You know what? I'm not going to be able to look past the fact that that's still Robert Downey Jr.'s face. And just a couple of years ago, he was playing Iron Man. Like, why? Why? Javier Bardem. You could have said fuck Doctor Strange, brought Mads Mikkelsen in. There's so many good, talented actors that you could cast as Doctor Doom. And we get fucking... Back to this movie. Back to this movie. I wanted to ask you, generate some good conversation. You brought up that there's pretty much one crucial action scene in the movie before that kind of climax, the bridge scene. How did you feel about the bridge scene?
Overall, like the more I read about it, I looked up like how they did it. I think it looks pretty good for the most part.
It's pretty cool.
I'm assuming you probably watched like behind the scenes stuff on that.
I
didn't realize they built like 200 feet of replicated the Brooklyn Bridge.
That's what I saw an interview with Tim Story where he was talking about that set piece and how they had built, like you said, it was like a huge, it was like a whole section of, I think it's the Brooklyn Bridge, right, that they recreated. Yeah, so they recreated a whole section of the Brooklyn Bridge for that scene. You get a lot of practical effects, a lot of practical stunt work in this movie.
I think the truck looks excellent.
Yeah. No, I that's why, like, while watching it, I was like, it's a very uneventful film for the most part, but I thought that action scene was pretty solid. It was a fun enough set piece. It doesn't look too much like a set. Sometimes you do run into that issue in this movie where when they're on the streets or just, you know, certain scenes, it really does feel like you're just watching them on a set and it doesn't feel like a real location. But overall, I thought the bridge sequence was pretty cool. My only issue is that they are treated like huge heroes after the fact. But when you really break down that scene, they caused most of that destruction.
Yeah.
So,
I mean, like, I get he saved the guy that was trying to like commit suicide, but yeah, it's all caused by them.
Fun
not
fact,
really sure.
Actor Michael Chiklis, who plays the Thing, he was the one who recommended that actor for the role of Man Who Wants to Kill Himself. I guess it was his friend. I think they went to like acting school together, but I thought that was fun.
So for the truck, I was looking at how they did that. They like drilled a steel pole and filled it with like 40,000 pounds of cement.
Really?
Yeah, and then pulled the truck into it.
That's
and then
pretty
just CGI'd thing in there. But yeah, I thought it looked really good. But
how do you feel about the rubber suit as a whole for the Thing?
You know, I never used to think it looked that bad. I think it looks a little like funny, but
yeah,
I don't know. I don't think it looks terrible. It's not like I don't know. I don't, from what I've seen in the comics, he doesn't look exactly like him, but I don't know. I it didn't really distract me. It didn't really bother me.
Yeah, I go back and forth because on one hand, I'm always such a big proponent for practical effects. And another fun little fact, Stan Lee said that Michael Chiklis's performance of Ben Grimm / The Thing in this movie is his favorite performance of a comic book character. So I thought that was kind of cool.
I don't believe it.
Huh?
I don't believe it.
I 1,000% believe it.
You do?
Yeah.
Was this when the movie got made? So or was this like way after? Like when there was
that's
a lot
good
more...
question. I didn't see when the quote came out. I have to assume it was probably either when the movie came out or not long after. But
if it was when it came out, fine. But he was really high on Jessica Alba too as Sue. Now I don't know.
It's listen, and this is an issue where it depends what kind of Fantastic Four comics you're trying to adapt, because I think in earlier issues of Fantastic Four, specifically like those early, Jack Kirby days, I don't think that Sue was particularly the best written character, and I think that she kind of suffers in this movie. And all right, this is where fuck. I don't want to be mean to Jessica Alba. I've never been super impressed with her as an actress. I've never been particularly blown away by her performance. Now, maybe I just haven't seen the right Jessica Alba performances. However, I do want to give her a little bit of credit and a little bit of a benefit of the doubt, because I don't know if you saw this quote from Jessica Alba, but it was in regards to the second film, Fantastic Four: Rise of the Silver Surfer. And this was her quote, because she was criticized for her performances in the movies. And she said that working on Fantastic Four with Tim Story almost made her want to quit acting. And this is her full quote. I wanted to stop acting. The director was like, it looks too real. It looks too painful. Can you be prettier when you cry? Cry pretty, Jessica. He was like, don't do that thing with your face. Just make it flat. We can CGI the tears in. That's fucked up.
What a weird thing to say. Like, just like, cry prettier.
And this is where I think I want to get into probably the biggest issue with these two movies. I'll say two movies. I know we're stuck on the first one, but two movies. Lending my hand a little bit to my thoughts on the next one. But I don't think Tim Story is a very good director. He seems like... Actually, I don't know. After that quote, that's kind of a dick thing to say. Like, that's a terrible way to direct. But you look at Tim Story's career, Ride Along, not very good.
He did
Fantastic
Taxi.
Four movies, not very good. Think Like a Man, not very good. Shaft, not very good. Taxi. This is the guy that made Taxi.
Sucks.
With Jimmy Fallon and Queen Latifah. His only solid movie is that first Barbershop, if you ask me. In terms of, like, actually...
That's like the only
decent.
like pretty good thing he did.
Yeah. He also did the 2021 Tom and Jerry, which I'm pretty sure was on my top 5 worst movies of 2021. So all I'm saying is I whereas the Spider-Man movies had the benefit of having a director as talented as Sam Raimi, and even the X-Men movies had a guy like Bryan Singer, who turned out to be a piece of shit, apparently, not a good person, but solid enough director. Talent-wise. So I think those franchises had the benefit of having a better director behind the camera, because when you watch these two Fantastic Four movies, they just don't look good. Like, I'm not talking about the CGI, but a lot of the times for movies with well over $100 million budgets, they don't look very cinematic. They look very almost TV movie-esque, where a lot of flat lighting. Huh?
Like, you would say Fantastic Four looks like TV?
Yeah,
level.
Like when I'm comparing it, like a lot of the scenes I'm looking at, all I'm thinking of is, you know what, this kind of looks like early CW, Arrow, The Flash-esque, like when those shows weren't fucking terrible, when they were still kind of semi-watchable. But it's even like the lighting aside, and a lot of it looking and feeling like sets and stages instead of actual locations, it's just, there's not really any interesting camera work. You'd assume with movies about 4 different characters with 4 wildly different powers, like you got a guy he's got the flame powers, you got Invisible Girl who can turn invisible, you got a character who, he's just big hulking rock, and then you got a character who can, stretch any part of his body. And the most you really get is like a scene in the first one where Reed stretches his fingers and hand under a door, which looks disgusting. Yeah, it
fucking
looks
gross.
Looks terrible. The CGI looks awful, and he unlocks a door. It's just, it doesn't feel like they're really using their powers in super creative ways on like a story level. And then again, just that lack of like, there's no interesting blocking or directing. Not long ago we did the Raimi Spider-Man trilogy, and I'm still thinking about, mainly in those first 2 films, but different shots, the way that the camera, framed the characters, the movements within the scenes. There was just so much more purpose and intent behind the direction in those movies, where you watch these 2 Fantastic Four movies, especially, in close succession to those Raimi films, and you're just kind of it's like night and day in terms of like directing prowess. I'm not sure if that like took you out of the experience at all, or
Well, hey, you know what? So the opening scene, Jake, I don't know. The lighting, it doesn't look too flat. I mean, they really obnoxiously light Victor in a very shadowed, like, villain. Doesn't look too flat to me.
That.
I mean,
I forgot
really,
about that, but I did write in my notes what a lame ass way to introduce Victor Von Doom.
like every other shot you see a V sculpted in like in the room out of something, like all his chairs have a V. You know, he's behind a V. Like they're really hammering that this guy is he's a bad man, and he is fully like there's like no lighting on him except for like just like outlines of his face. But
it's like, hey guys, this is the villain. If you didn't know, this is the bad guy. Oh, I want to highlight one thing. I do want to give this movie credit. I think that when they're in space, the music that they use in the one scene is really good. That's it.
Wait, which scene?
When they're in space towards the beginning, before they get their powers, I want to say it's when... Where is it? I don't even know the specific shot. All I wrote is, I don't mind this music when they're in space. Actually, a good track. I think it's when, like, right before Victor is, like, maybe about to propose to Sue. And it's just, like, he's like, isn't it beautiful or whatever? And she's, like, looking out. And, like, again, the CGI doesn't look good. But I thought the music was really good. But a lot of the times, I don't know if you felt this way in this movie, kind of bringing things back to the Raimi Spider-Man movies. Did a lot of the music in this feel like it was trying to go for that Raimi, Danny Elfman Spider-Man score with, like, the choir?
That main track, I think, I know what you mean. I can only really remember the main track. Like the track you're talking about in space, I can't even think of it. So
the only reason I remember is because I wrote it in my notes.
But no, yeah, the like the main titles track, I think. There was something about it. I was like, this sounds like something else. I didn't know if it was really Raimi Spider-Man, but now that you say it, kind of, it's that or it's something else. I don't know.
It just, every time they played like the music in this movie during a lot of the scenes, it always felt like I was like, they're just so clearly trying to go for that like Danny Elfman type score where they're like, you know, trying to bring in the choir elements and stuff. I don't know. It's just, especially like,
I don't remember the choir tracks.
Yeah.
I don't remember like, I don't even remember like a choir in the score.
Oh yeah. No, they do it a couple of times, but
really,
I don't know.
They really take the mold of which is really annoying because I mean you said that you see it as a positive that they get Reed Richards down so well with like he's so obsessed with like the science of everything that he doesn't really pick up on like the social cues, and maybe that is accurate to his character, but it felt so Parker MJ between them two. It was really distracting to me, where it was just annoying. I don't know if it was performance based or just like just character. Like I don't know. I think they really did it, like took it too far all the time. Where it's just like he's so clueless too. He's just so clueless. So I can't like. I don't know if that's more his style as opposed to Peter Parker, where like if it fits Reed more to do that with than Parker. But it felt exactly like my problems with Peter. In those movies, especially the third one, how like clueless he is and not really like obsessed with science, just like he's so fucking nerdy and just like out of touch with things that like MJ is saying and things that Sue is saying to him. It's just like, I don't know. It was just distracting to me.
Yeah, I could definitely see the comparisons and like the similarities with like how my biggest issue is, and it's kind of the same issue that we had with Peter and MJ in those Raimi movies, is lack of chemistry. I feel like Yoan Griffith, who plays Mr. Fantastic, Reed Richards, him and Jessica Alba, I just feel like in both of the films just do not have any on-screen chemistry together. It's just every time they're speaking romantically towards each other or there's trying to be a moment of passion between the two, I just never really bought into it. And I don't know. It just...
I don't even think it's a problem with his casting, because I think he like kind of like fits that character a little, like pretty well, and I think I Like he's okay. Maybe if he was directed a little better, I don't know. Maybe
It might have been a
better.
direction issue. I mean, I'm not going to say he's the best Reed Richards. And what you're kind of referencing to is something that we were, discussing before we'd started recording, was that I do feel like, as a big fan of the Fantastic Four in the comics, I do feel like they kind of nailed down certain aspects of the characters. One thing that I have an issue with is that they are supposed to feel like a family, and even though they do get into arguments and there are little kind of scuffles and whatnot between them, they are a family. They're Marvel's first family. They are so important to the history of Marvel Comics that you wouldn't have the X-Men without them. You wouldn't have the Avengers. You wouldn't have a lot of the superhero teams that you currently have if you don't have the Fantastic Four. But what they kind of miss out in both of these movies is I never quite feel like they're a family, mainly because this first movie should be titled Fantastic Four, Let's Shit on Ben Grimm for an hour and 46 minutes, and then instead of Rise of the Silver Surfer, that movie should be called Fantastic Four, okay, now we're going to shit on Johnny for an hour and a half. Because in both movies, it's like they pick one character to absolutely just dump on. And the one scene that we didn't really mention too much is during the bridge scene after the Fantastic Four have saved people and they're hailed as heroes. His fucking wife decides to show up.
Oh, dude, I got it written down. I'm ready to talk about her.
Yeah, fucking
Debs.
Laurie Holden from The Walking Dead fame. She's Ben's wife, and she feels that this is the appropriate time to show up. And when he tries to just walk towards her, she looks disgusted by his presence and feels that this is the appropriate time to take off her wedding ring and place it on the disgusting New York bridge on the ground. And then Ben walks over and he can't even pick it up. And it's the saddest shit I've ever seen.
Yeah, I think they do a little too much pity around Ben. They really treat him like shit. Like they beat him down with Debs to
Yeah.
The first scene when he's trying to call her, and maybe he went about it kind of wrong. He's dressed in a trench coat with a hat. Maybe tell her on the phone before.
That's just them trying to be comic accurate. That's one of his comic things is the trench coat and the hat. So
yeah, whatever. That's fine. Maybe tell her on the phone what she's gonna walk into. Don't startle her. With a show. But
how
dude,
do you tell somebody that?
She runs into oncoming traffic. It's insane. She is such a bitch in this movie. I just wrote, all I wrote Debs is such a bitch. And then my next note was fireman yells whoa before he crashes into the bridge. And then the line after that is, I just wrote a real bitch, because she comes back just to be an even bigger bitch. So, my issue with that bridge scene, I have a couple small issues, but that's a big one. How does she get there? She has to leave her apartment to go to that bridge. All this stuff just happened. It just happened. Yet she gets there. She plows through that crowd like nothing. But Sue had to go invisible to get through for some reason. She had to strip down. That was just an excuse to get Jessica Alba to strip down, which apparently that was added after she already signed onto the film. Why
the scene where she... Yeah.
Yeah. Why does she have to go invisible? Just so to push through the people?
She doesn't. They just wanted to get her in her bra and panties.
Reed and Johnny are right behind her, and they go through just fine. So,
I like Chris Evans' line there though, where he's like, "Oh, I'm gonna need therapy." Or what does Reed say? He's like, "Oh, I see you've been working out."
Yeah. So yeah, that makes no sense. And then Debs just shows up within not even 5 minutes. Let's give him the benefit. 5 minutes of this destruction happening, and she just arrives, and she just does it to give him the do it not in public, maybe, just such an asshole. Oh.
I do feel like, again, just bringing it back to the Raimi movies, I do again feel like that was this film's attempt at trying to do what they did with Tobey's Peter, where they went out of their way in those first two movies to just dump on this character. Like this is the loser of all losers. Everybody look at him, point and laugh. And it seems like that's what they were trying to do with Ben in this movie.
Yeah.
And then what makes it even worse, and I guess you could consider it a character arc, but I guess by the end he learns to be fine with it. And then in the second movie, it is literally never an issue. It is never a problem. In the second movie, he's like the fan favorite Fantastic Four member, and he's just like, he loves like smiling for pictures with kids.
Well,
and
yeah, because he has Kerry Washington.
that is fair. That is fair. A blind Kerry Washington.
Yeah. How do you feel about her performance as a blind woman?
It's better than Ben Affleck's.
I get so tired of like blind like at least the way they portray it. I don't know if this is like an actual thing, but they have like really good hearing, right?
I mean, I think it's, yeah, apparently your other senses get heightened.
Yeah. So they have really good hearing, yet she's always looking in every direction but their direction. And it just drives me insane. Cause like they're not moving. You can hear that they're right there. I mean, is it just like I don't want to make this person uncomfortable by like
I don't know.
looking kind of at them but not really at them? Does that, I don't know. It's more, I noticed it more in Silver Surfer when she's like talking to Jessica Alba, and she's
only in Silver Surfer. Oh wait, no. Is she in the first one?
Kerry Washington?
Yeah.
Yeah. She comes in at the bar scene.
Right.
Yeah.
They're blurring together at this point.
She like feels his face and she says, oh, "So sad."
Well, she can't say so hard. But yeah,
I don't know if that's in the comics. I don't know if that if Alicia is in the comics, or is that just some? Oh,
Yeah.
she is. Okay, all right, fine.
Yeah. Yep, Alicia's a comic character. But did you like the subtle little foreshadowing when they're in space? What does he say to? I think it's Dr. Doom.
Oh.
He says it to Reed. He goes, "Reed Richards always reaching for the stars."
Yeah, I think it was in The Office because he does one with him and he does one with Ben.
Yeah. Wait, what's the one with Ben? Always carrying the heavy
Actually,
load or something?
Yeah, he does two. I forgot to write down reaching for the stars. In his office, he says, "Same old Reed, always stretching." During his pitch to Victor.
Oh yeah.
Says that to him, and then he says to Ben, "I see you're still doing the heavy lifting." Like, come on, I don't need this. I really don't need this. This like weak, cheesy writing of like foreshadowing.
And listen, I actually don't mind. I don't mind those. I'm not like taking points away for like some of the cheesier writing, because I do think that the Fantastic Four are inherently kind of cheesy. They were obviously trying to, in a lot of different areas, as we've highlighted, they were trying to go for that Raimi Spider-Man thing. I think I even read a quote where they were originally going to try to make this like pretty much a full-on comedy, but then I don't know if it was the director or one of the producers who had said they used Raimi Spider-Man movies as an example of, hey, you can have cheesy moments, you can have comedic elements, but also still have like an emotional story, like a good through line. But I just feel like they don't really tackle it well in this movie. I think they do a fine enough job of getting their powers quick enough. I think it's within the first 15 to 20 minutes. I'm glad it seems like based on the recent Fantastic Four First Steps trailer, that we are foregoing the origin story. Because even as a huge fan of the Fantastic Four, their origin story, it doesn't fucking matter. They go up to space, they get hit with rays, they get powers. I don't need to see it again. I'm fine. Just like I don't ever need to see Spider-Man get bit by a spider again. I'm good on that front. I'm fine with it. So I think they do a good enough job of getting their powers quick enough, but the issue is, like what we highlighted at the beginning of this discussion, is just that there is nothing moving this plot forward. There is nothing, it's fine to have scenes of your characters fucking around and figuring out their powers, but there needs to be something in the background kind of propelling the story forward, whereas they're just, for a guy named Tim Story, did a really terrible job with the story in this movie, because there's just nothing moving the film forward. It just feels like, all right, you're watching these characters fuck around, figure their powers out. Johnny is being an asshole and can't stay inside, and he keeps going out and causing press for them, and that's a problem. And then again, like we already said, 10, 20 minutes left in the film, and now Dr. Doom decides that he wants to go kill the Fantastic Four. Great, whatever. But there's just nothing. Whereas like you look back to those first two Spider-Man movies, you have such a good conflict boiling between Green Goblin and Spider-Man in the first movie. You have that pre-established relationship between Peter and Doc Ock in the second one that leads to Doc Ock and Spider-Man having their confrontation in the climax of that movie. There's things pushing the plot forward. Even in the first two X-Men movies, I can look back at those movies and look at the plot and understand the plot beats and the story beats and where it's moving towards. This one it's a lot of nothingness, and then it just kind of fizzles out with okay, here's my issue. How do you feel about that final fight with the Fantastic Four and Doctor Doom?
I don't like it. I don't like it because everything, the pacing in this movie is just all kinds of like messed up. Like it's so slow. It drags the whole hour. You get nothing except a bridge scene. And I'm not saying I need action, but I need some engagement with like all it feels like I see Johnny and Sue just like all their relationship is just bickering, and they're adults. Like I get you're gonna have some bickering, but that's all it is. And then all of a sudden Victor's back in the mix. He manipulates Ben, somehow tells him that like, oh, Reed, your best friend, just wants to flirt with Sue. So now Ben is mad at Reed. They fight. Victor comes in, convinces Ben to go on the machine, steals his powers, knocks him out. Like everything is just rapid pace, just happening. So, all right, I want to talk about that whole like last like 15 to 20 minutes because there are a lot of things that piss me off that just never get explained. I guess the machine has like just an easy reverse button that Ben could just figure out to like get his powers back. Even though Victor just like steals it.
Did you read what those pods were modeled after?
No.
So apparently those pods in the movie were supposedly modeled after the transportation pods in The Fly.
Damn it! I was gonna say The Fly. That's like when you said pod, that's the only thing I could think of.
Yeah, but yeah.
So Victor, and honestly, like he's evil. He's so evil in this whole movie, but he gets more and more evil when he becomes metal. Which he becomes metal. He doesn't build a suit. It's just underneath his skin. He's just whatever. I like that he starts growing like staples in his head.
Dude, what the fuck was that? Like
it's not even he's not taking a piece of metal. It's a staple. It's just a staple that was so he's just made
stupid.
He's made up of all different kinds of metal objects that we use. I don't know. But he just bitch slaps Ben and he says 1 down, 3 to go. Dude, finish the job. You're fine with killing. You killed the guy that booted you out of the company. You blew a hole through his fucking abdomen. So why are you just slapping Ben? Finish it. And then he hooks up Reed to like freeze him. And then Sue comes in. He's like choking her. And he could still continue to choke her and kill her. He just tosses her.
Yeah, he's very not good at being Doctor Doom.
Yeah, he doesn't make sure that Johnny's dead. He just trusts that he like blew up. There's like no check, and he's just, I don't know, he's just so lazy. But yeah, he's like shooting missiles at Reed's penthouse. I don't know how they do all this in 15 minutes, but they do. And then him and Ben fight. They have that like little like waterfall scene. They have this whole fight in like a pretty, at least it was empty when Johnny was roaming the town. Times Square is just empty. Love seeing that.
That's another little thing too, is that just like compare how New York looks and feels and operates in those Spider-Man movies and then compare it to this. Yeah. Like in the Spider-Man movies, it really feels like New York is a character in and of itself. Like it feels alive, like it's living and breathing. And again, you look at this movie, and especially in that final fight scene, all I can see it looks like a set. All it does is
it looks like a few extras sprinkled in. That's it.
Yeah. It just, again, just like not at all doing the legwork to make it feel like you're in like a real environment. And it just takes away, because now I just feel like I'm watching like a CGI bullshit fest.
Yeah. And then all of a sudden, so they tell Johnny to do the supernova wave around Victor. And now Sue, they already explained to you that the supernova is like reaching temperatures of the sun.
Okay, I'm glad you brought this up. This is why I asked you about the final fight.
Yeah, and then now Sue is containing it,
Yeah.
But like she couldn't even contain like a laser blast from Doom. So it's unclear what they can do, like the levels that their powers can bring them. I don't know. It just and then
Do you remember what they tell Johnny when he almost goes supernova the first time?
Yeah, that you could like destroy the Earth.
They say you could not only kill yourself, but you could set the Earth's atmosphere on fire.
Yeah.
And he gets it. He's like, okay, supernova bad. I get it. And then in the final fight, they've never discussed this. They're never like, hey guys, this is a plan. They just go, hey Johnny, go supernova.
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
I like that Johnny is like the only reasonable one there. I thought we agreed that was bad.
Yeah,
like,
yeah, Johnny, the fucking. Oh, I do, because I feel like we're almost at the end of this discussion on this first film, but my favorite scene in the movie is when Johnny goes snowboarding with Maria Menounos.
I had it in my back pocket to talk about. Dude, listen, I can get behind some Sum 41. They're a lot of fun.
Hell yeah, dude. Sum 41 kicks ass.
There's a line in the song Newts that plays where he says, I feel this burning inside, a feeling that no one should know. And it's just like, oh my God, like, could you be any more on the nose for Johnny? Like, just like related.
Is that song about an STD?
I don't know, actually.
Is the burning an STD? Is that what that is?
I just know some of the lines. I never really did. Like,
damn. We'll have to go on Genius and see what that fucking song means.
I don't think it is. I don't think it is.
No, I love that part, dude. And they
actually,
just fucking...
it might be. Because I'm thinking of another line. He says, I don't want to get it wrong. Actually, I don't know. He says, no, I don't think it is. I don't know. Seems like a song about regrets.
Well, how do you... So I have a question. How do you feel about Chris Evans as Human Torch? Because I love Chris Evans as Captain America. I think he is just like the perfect Steve Rogers.
I think Chris Evans is like he has a lot of charm, a lot of charisma, and he's very funny when he wants to be. And not that I know Fantastic Four that well, but it seems like that kind of fits Johnny a little bit.
Yeah.
But and maybe he has some arrogance to him, and maybe he learns to like, I don't know if he like, I feel like he would kind of like mature in the comics, but I'm fine with him as Torch. I don't like him in this movie though, because they write him so unlikable, and he never really develops. It seems he's just the same as when his opening scene when he's riding his motorcycle, making out with the girl in the convertible, which is fucking. I hate that introduction. I think it's so dumb. Chris Evans as a whole, I'm fine with the casting. Not fine.
Oh, I marked that in my notes. I wrote, I love that they introduced Johnny riding a motorcycle, making out with a woman driving a car.
Yeah,
that is that
who is
combined
she?
with.
She's like
is
riding
this the most
to
2000s movie to ever exist?
It's up
like,
there. It's
dude,
up there.
it's gotta be, right? You have that, your opening scene for one of your characters is him riding a fucking old-timey motorcycle, making out with a chick driving a fucking convertible, and then a later scene is a guy snowboarding with a hot nurse, which, how did they get a snowboard and skis up there? It was a hospital.
I like that he like falls off a huge cliff. Yeah. And like she just kind of like skis down to him like super quick.
dude, fucking I understand that he can turn into fire, but as far as I know, he's like not indestructible or invulnerable or anything. When he does that motorcycle or motorbike shit later on, he falls and lands on his legs from like 30 feet up, like broken legs immediately.
We'll talk about it in Silver Surfer. We'll talk about it.
Oh, is that in Silver Surfer?
No. Because there's another one in Silver Surfer.
Oh, again, yeah, these movies. I watch them so close in tandem that they're just like bleeding into each other now.
So no, overall, I don't like Johnny. It's not because of Chris Evans though. Like it's really not his fault. I blame that on just like how he's written and how he's directed.
I just asked because I don't know if you saw who was the other person that they were considering for that role, like the other primary candidate.
I don't think so.
Paul Walker.
Yeah, I wouldn't have liked that as much.
I don't know. I think he might have had potential to be good, but I'm with you. I don't think it's Chris Evans' fault. I think it's just an issue with like writing the character, like how they wrote him, and just
Paul Walker did like at that point. I know he did like the Fast and Furious movies, and that was pretty much it. I think.
Varsity Blues, I guess, would be his other big thing, but. No, it's just I was just curious what your opinion on that casting was. I think the worst is Jessica Alba as Sue. I think she's the worst of the four.
Yeah, no, I would absolutely agree with that because I don't.
But then
I don't
hearing
think
after
else is bad.
Yeah, hearing about what the director like told her to do, it doesn't really seem like it was completely her fault. It seems like a lot of the writing and direction were at fault for that. But
yeah, the motocross scene I don't need it, man. I just don't need it. It's.
I think
so they're just like it's just random scenes put in here that doesn't progress anything. I'm getting nothing from this.
Well, it's like what you highlighted is it's fine if Johnny starts out as a douchebag, if he starts out as this like kind of asshole, but it just does not seem like he grows past that in either of the movies. But specifically this one, I think they just do a really bad job at handling so many characters. I think they really just were not able to competently craft 4 different character arcs for these 4 characters. Mm-hmm. And on top of that, you have a 5th character, Doom, who's an incredibly weak villain. So you have 4 leads who are not really that likable. 2 of them are supposedly supposed to be a thing, and they have no romantic chemistry. The other one, you just feel bad for the entire movie because it spends 90% of the runtime shitting on him. And the 4th one is just like an egotistical douchebag who, Josh had to point it out before we started recording, but at the time of the movie, he would have been like 24, 25 years old. But I don't know. I thought he looked like 29, 30 in this movie. Like, I thought he looked much older. Maybe it's the haircut. I'm not exactly sure. But he acts like a 16-year-old douchebag for most of the movie and is not really given any moments of redemption. And that's just kind of... Even Reed and Sue, like, they have, like, their big altercation and they have issues with their relationship. And it's, like, what we highlighted about Reed not really paying attention to, like, his social life and focusing too much on work. And I don't really remember a single moment where that's really resolved either, where like he learns like, oh, hey, I need to actually focus on my wife or not his wife at that point, but I need to focus on this woman I love and not just be so focused on this work that I need to be doing.
Yeah, he doesn't.
I don't know. He
doesn't learn it, and it continues in the next one, like immediately.
Yeah. I don't know. I don't really have much left to say about this one.
What's the point of like the end of the fight with Dr. Doom? They put him in a shipping container and they just like put him on a cargo boat and that's it. Like, why don't they like finish the job?
I don't know. I will say I don't hate how that fight wraps up. I mean, again, knowing how powerful Dr. Doom is in the comics, it is a little frustrating how easily they're able to incapacitate him. However, I do like that it's the first time these 4 characters are like really working together. You had the bridge sequence, but that was kind of like a happy accident. In this one, they genuinely used all 4 of their powers in a loosely creative way to defeat him. You know, you have Johnny who's creating that supernova storm, which they need Invisible Woman to contain it with her force field, and then, you know, which overheats, hit the metal that he's wearing, and then they blast him with water to kind of freeze him essentially.
They're kind of reckless. They're kind of like a little irresponsible with how much damage they do around them. And I get, you know, you're not going to avoid all the damage that you cause, but like, I mean, I don't know. It's supernova in the middle of a crowd. Sue's never contained anything like that. It could really get messy here.
It's very risky. But I just didn't mind that they were using their powers together to defeat him. I thought that was at least kind of fun, I guess.
I just don't understand the aftermath of it, of like when Victor just gets locked up in like a shipping container.
Yeah, they pull an Indiana Jones and the Raiders of the Lost Ark. They just fucking stick him in a warehouse somewhere.
Yeah, I don't know.
A couple.
No, I was just gonna say. So, like, I just feel like a lot of people get done dirty in this movie.
Yeah, yeah. In terms of like adaptations, like I said, I think they nail a couple elements. I don't really have any issues with Ben Grimm slash the Thing in this movie. In terms of like adapting a comic book character, they do a pretty faithful job. I like Michael Chiklis in the role. He's got a good voice. I like how he sounds as the Thing. He's kind of got that more grumbly look. I'm not in love with the practical suit, but I think it's better than if they would have tried to have done like 2005 CGI. It would have probably looked a lot worse by today's standards. Reed stretching. I think Johnny looks really bad at certain points. With Sue, it's I don't know. I don't know what much more you could do with Sue. I guess we'll see in the new one. But yeah, I mean, overall, I liked a couple of minor elements. I like that in Victor Von Doom's medical facility, a lot of the walls are painted green. I guess that's like a nice little attention to detail for his character.
There's
Johnny
the green
practically
in the diner when he sits with Ben. There's the green, the green like neon.
There's that
lights.
when they're in the hospital rooms, like when they first wake up, like when Ben first wakes up, there's a green wall in front of him. I like that element. I felt really bad when that bird / pigeon shit on Ben's shoulder. That was pretty.
Dude, he wipes it in one stroke. It's completely gone. It's like
there's not a little residue. I thought there was like a little residue left over.
He like wipes it, and it's like completely gone, and it doesn't even look like he. Like, I don't know.
We didn't really mention, but Johnny practically assaults Maria Menounos. She did not consent to that kiss, and here on Franchise Deep Dive, we are all about that consent.
You cannot do that, Johnny. This is yours, that's mine.
Funniest line in the movie. The characters, right after their first like heroic save, they're going back to the Baxter building, and they're like a bunch of people are waiting outside, and they're like cheering on the Fantastic Four, and Ben as the Thing turns to a bunch of little kids, and they look scared of him, and he doesn't know what to say, so he goes, "Don't do drugs." Fun little Easter egg that I had read was there's a line where the Thing says, "I used to smoke," which is a reference to the comics where in early issues of Fantastic Four, Ben Grimm / the Thing was commonly shown smoking a cigar until I don't know, I think it was the entire company of Marvel in the 90s made an executive decision to stop showing characters smoking in comic books. It was like a company-wide ban, so that was a little fun little reference. Holy shit, one of the most egregious product placements I've ever seen in the movie is when there's just like billboards everywhere. I think it's at the motocross event, and there's just billboards everywhere. Shit got me thirsting for a Mountain Dew Code Red.
Oh, I thought you were gonna say, I think the worst one is the Burger King one. When he gets
the charb,
yeah, he gets slapped and he burns, like he just burns the billboard with the burger on it.
Nah, man, there was a bunch, but I was really fixated on that Mountain Dew Code Red. I love me a Code Red.
I don't think I've ever had it.
Really? That's like the only Mountain Dew flavor I like.
I'm not a Mountain Dew guy. I'm just not a fan.
Also, no, I'm not either. It's battery acid. Dr. Pepper and Pepsi Zero for life. Also, fuck Sue for that one moment she tries to relate to Ben, where she's like, "Listen, Ben, my life sucks too." And all I could think of was, shut the fuck up. You are a hot, beautiful woman who can turn invisible whenever she wants. He is a rock person whose wife just left him.
Yeah, back the shit off.
Walk away. Walk away, Sue. Walk away. Do you have any other
It was very confusing with the relationship between Victor and Sue. It's very weird how they treat it. She's just his like assistant, and he just proposes to her. I'm like, "Oh, they're dating." And like Reed's confused, like he thinks they're dating, and then it's later in the movie where she says there never was a Victor and I. We've never been together. So just thought it was very weird. He proposes to her.
They're very like loosely defining on the whole relationship thing.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Oh yeah, and I mean we already talked about it. Just Victor's motives are just so lost.
Oh, he has motives?
Yeah, right. Like it's just like what? How does this like villainous, like path happen? He gets his powers. Everyone else is fine. Does it just enhance his dick personality, and he just wants to kill people now? Like it doesn't make sense. And like it's not like he just wants to take revenge on like the people that booed him out of the company. He's so mad at Reed for I don't even know why.
The way you paused in between dick and personality made that so much funnier than it had any right to be. Did it just enhance his dick personality?
I hate that they miscalculate everything on that space mission so badly, and it doesn't even.
No, I don't think they miscalculated. I think they said it was like a freak accident. Like he said,
okay, that's fine.
Like, yeah,
that's fine. They say 9 minutes. It's gonna like explode, and it's like literally 30 seconds later.
Well, no. At first, it's like 9 minutes. It's supposed to be 7 hours.
Yeah.
Like, all right. Well, then you done fucked up.
Yeah, and so it's a mistake. How the fuck does Ben not see the cosmic cloud in front of him as soon as he gets out there?
I like too how the whole exchange where he's like, "Hey, I'm not doing the job yet," and instead of being like, "Get inside as fast as you can," fucking Reed goes, "Ben, turn around."
Yeah, look behind you. And it's the whole like thing is just orange glow around him. I don't know how he missed it. Yeah, so
yeah, I don't know.
There's a lot of things you can really pick apart in this movie, nitpick, whatever. But yeah, it's just
it's not even
it's
just
messy.
like I feel
it's
like there's
messy.
a ton of like there are flaws, but I've definitely seen worse. I've seen worse superhero movies in particular. It's just that I find so much of this movie so uneventful and boring and
yeah, that's the thing. Like this movie isn't like egregious. Like it's there's like moments where it's like this is competent enough, but there's also a lot like there's a good amount of bad. So it's like no, this is still I think it's bad. But
one really bad edit that really struck me was it's like so jarring cutting from Ben being on the phone with his wife when he's outside her apartment to her walking across the street. It's like it is like one shot to the next. He's like on the phone with her and then it harsh cuts and she's just walking across the street and I was like, that felt weird. Like I don't know.
I didn't really notice. I was too distracted that she came out in her silk robe.
Like they don't even have like the line like, oh hey, like can you come outside, or like hey, like can you come out here or something. It's just like he's like, I got a surprise for you. Not a great way to lead, buddy. Not a great way to lead. But the one thing I wanted to highlight, I feel like I've seen people criticize this. I kind of like when they do get hit by the rays. I know it's stupid, but it feels kind of comic booky and cheeky. But when they get hit by the rays when they're up in space, you get like a brief little glimpse of all their powers. So like, you know, Sue turns invisible for like a moment, Johnny catches fire for a second, Reed stretches. So I liked that little bit. It's like it's obvious foreshadowing. It's very on the nose, but that felt comic booky in a fun way, whereas some of the other elements that I think they were trying to go for like comic book campiness don't quite land in the way that they did in the Spider-Man movies. And I think that's just more of a testament to Sam Raimi as a director, knowing how to nail those comic beats. And also, I don't know, those fight scenes in the Spider-Man movies are just so much better than any of the shit in these. Like the final fight
there was
with
a fight
Green
scene
Goblin.
in this?
Well, just like the final fight, I guess. I don't know. I don't know. Like I just remember when we did that episode highlighting how great like the train sequences with Spider-Man and Doc Ock, or how much we enjoyed the final fight with Spider-Man and Green Goblin in that abandoned warehouse. There was like a real grit to it. This movie just feels very like squeaky clean, shiny to like a not great degree. But what do you say? You think we should move on to the next film?
Yeah, I'm all tapped out here.
Me too. I'm surprised we got an hour out of that. But let's take a quick commercial break, guys, and then we will be back to conclude this episode with Fantastic Four: Rise of the Silver Surfer. Okay, thank you guys for holding for that brief commercial break. And I'll say it again, there probably was no commercial, but it sounds nice, so we're back. We are, of course, moving on to Fantastic Four: Rise of the Silver Surfer from 2007, again directed by Tim Story. Budget of 130 mil, so 30 mil more than the last film. Box office of 301.9 mil, and a Rotten Tomato score of 27%. So it was made for a little bit more, made a little bit less, and a little bit higher reviews.
Wait, 27 or?
No, 37.
Oh, 37. Oh, okay.
Did I say 27? My bad.
Maybe I heard it wrong. I don't know.
Nope, 37%. So, which is weird, because I just must, my memory must just be failing me, because I completely thought that this movie was not as well liked as the first one. Come to find out, it is reversed, and it seems like the second one has more positive reviews. And before I get into the IMDb synopsis, I will lend my hand a little bit and say I agree with the critics this time. I actually kind of liked this more than the first one.
I did not.
I don't think
so.
Yeah,
but
I was gonna say I don't think
pretty,
Josh agrees.
I think they're pretty on par, though.
They're very close. Yeah, they are very close. I don't think one outdoes the other.
Any memories or experiences with this movie that like come to mind?
Not as much. Just kind of what we had already talked about in regards to the first one. Whereas, like, I remember watching this. I definitely have seen it at least 2 or 3 times in my life. I vaguely remember this movie being on FX a lot. I don't know why, but I remember just watching this on FX channel like frequently. But yeah, I don't know. I remember it more. I always remember thinking that the Silver Surfer, like, he always looked really cool. I don't know why, like, in hindsight, the name is kind of stupid. Like, it's accurate. He's a silver guy on a surfboard. But yeah, I don't know. Not too many memories, not as much as the first one. I remember enjoying it as a kid. I think I remember liking the first one more, and I'm not sure why, because I feel like the second one, I didn't say the runtime for the first movie, but it's like a little under an hour and 50, I think, and this movie is right around 90 minutes, so significantly shorter. I think a lot more action set pieces. To me, moves a little bit snappier. So you would have think I would have enjoyed it more as a kid, but I don't know. What about you? Any memories with this one, or not really?
Not really. You know what? As I was watching it, I was like, I don't remember a lot of this. Maybe I never saw this from start to finish, because I really mainly just remembered the chase scene between Silver Surfer and Johnny when he like brings him up to space and lets him go.
It's a pretty solid scene, if you ask me.
Yeah, well, wasn't bad until it ended, and then I was just like rolling my eyes, kind of like how you rolled your eyes at the motocross scene in the first one.
Oh, I didn't roll my eyes. Did I say I rolled my eyes? I loved
it was just. No, because it was like him landing. It was just like come on, he's not like.
Oh, the motocross scene. I don't know why I was thinking of like the opening scene with the motorcycle where he kisses the girl. Sorry, he's just on so many motorcycles in these movies. Can't losing track. But let me read the IMDb synopsis real quick, and then we can just kind of get into this movies. I don't think this is going to be a super long discussion. This one had even less trivia facts in the first one, and even the first one, it wasn't like there's a lot of interesting stories or tidbits about that one. But the Fantastic Four learn that they aren't the only superpowered beings in the universe when they square off against the powerful Silver Surfer and the planet-eating Galactus. And I'm going to stop right there and say that is not Galactus, because Galactus is not a giant fucking cloud, and fuck this movie for portraying him as such.
Do they butcher... They have to butcher Galactus more than Doctor Doom.
Dude, it's tough because, all right, so Doctor Doom
just from like a physical standpoint, he's a fucking
cloud.
Yes,
okay. So in terms of like an actual like translation in terms of like looks and visuals, yeah, it is probably the worst character assassination from like a comic book to a movie maybe ever. I didn't even
read the synopsis when I watched it. So I didn't know Galactus was like a factor in this movie. Then they said it, and I was like, Galactus is as a part of this? And then I saw the cloud. I was like, okay, is that?
Yeah.
Am I just like, am I getting messed with here, or is that like?
Yeah. So that's the whole thing with the Silver Surfer. It is. I'm not sure if you're aware of this or how much you know about the Silver Surfer in the comics, but the Silver Surfer is a mantle. It is not. It is not his name. His real name is Norrin Rad. And then for those who are looking forward to the upcoming Fantastic Four First Steps, which we will be talking about in the next episode, this time in this film, we are going to be getting, what is her name? Shala Bal, who is Norin Rad's wife in the comic books, which he doesn't say her name, but he does mention someone that he loves in this movie. I think when he's talking to Sue Storm about his motivations and why he is what is known as a Herald of Galactus, which is, you're basically Galactus's bitch. You go around to different planets and you find planets for him to go and devour and eat and absorb. Which, different characters have become, a Herald of Galactus, a fun little piece of comic book trivia for my nerds out there. I don't want to say she's a love interest, but the military character that Johnny is kind of trying to flirt with throughout the movie, that he's with at the end at the wedding, in the comics, that character is a Herald of Galactus at one point. So that's kind of fun, I guess. Either way, little Silver Surfer backstory there. Which brings me to my first question about your recent viewing experience of this movie. How did you feel about Silver Surfer this time around?
I definitely thought I remembered him being more of a villain in this, and he is just like, he has like a couple scenes, and he's not the villain at all. So yeah. I didn't remember any of that. I was like, oh, okay. So this character kind of feels very watered down. And then you have an even, like, I don't know. Is Doctor Doom worse in this? I don't know. He's bad in both, but like,
he's more powerful in this one.
You have more of Doctor Doom in this, which I didn't remember at all. So that's where I was like, maybe I didn't watch this. So didn't know Doctor Doom was still the villain. But yeah, I kind of hated like the side plot with Sue and Silver Surfer. It just felt very kind of out of nowhere and a little corny when he protects her and she asks why, and he says, you remind me of her. And I don't know, it felt very just very weak. And I don't know, I thought he was going to be more engaging of a character, and he just wasn't. So
they do try to add some depth to him in this with that angle of like, because from what we've seen of the trailers, it does not seem like Shia LaBeouf in the upcoming Fantastic Four First Steps is going to be this kind of Silver Surfer. From the vibe we get in the trailer with the brief amount of time that we do see her, it does seem like she's more of the Herald of Galactus Silver Surfer that's like, just shows up and says, hey, by the way, guys, Galactus is coming. Say your goodbyes. That's kind of seems like what we're getting. So I don't mind the attempt at trying to make him a more sympathetic character. I do have a ton of fucking issues with how this movie ends, but I guess we can get to that a little bit later. But how did you? I also wanted to know, like, not only just how you felt about like the writing of his character, but the look, because I think there are some scenes in this where the Silver Surfer looks really solid. Like when they're trying to break him out of the facility, he looks very practical and real in that scene. And then there's a lot of other scenes where he looks very artificial, very fake. And I understand 2007 CGI wasn't exactly where it needs to be, but you know what? Pirates of the Caribbean, Dead Man's Chest was around that time period, and Davy Jones still looks fucking fantastic years later. So no excuses. Also, you had a $130 million budget. I will say, though, briefly, I do think the special effects as a whole looked better in this movie. But either way, I was just wondering what you thought. Like, did you think that, like, Silver Surfer looked dated or bad? Or
you know what? It actually didn't look that distracting to me. No, I thought it looked fine for the time, I think. Like, it wasn't... Yeah, I didn't think much of it. Did you like him in some scenes, or did you think he always looked bad, like in the action sequences?
Yeah.
Not when he's locked up
interacting. I think during the nighttime sequences and when there was like darker lighting, which I've highlighted on this podcast multiple times, like when you have a CGI character in like a darker environment, it is easier to hide some more glaring flaws in the CGI and animation. So during some of the nighttime sequences, like I think the chase, No, the chase scene with Silver Surfer and Johnny, that's during the day, right? Because that's what initially breaks up the wedding. Yeah. So not that scene, but anytime that he's basically shown during nighttime, and again, you do have like a darker lighting setup, he does look a little bit better. For 2007, it's not the worst looking CGI I've seen. Like there is much worse. But I don't know. I think of some scenes again. You got Spider-Man 3, which was 2007 also, which I think is kind of funny because that movie is often criticized for having too many villains. And this movie also tries to have too many villains because you got Silver Surfer, who's kind of a villain at first. Then you got Doctor Doom. Why am I forgetting? Is there a third villain?
Galactus.
Galactus, yes. See, Galactus is so
easy to forget.
Like, yeah, because it's not Galactus, man. You know what? Fuck all of the assholes who are going on social media and are saying shit like, oh, like every time we see Galactus, he doesn't look big enough. He just looks good Godzilla height. I'm sorry. If that's not good enough for you, would you prefer that we go back to the fucking giant space fart cloud? Is that what you want? Because me personally, I'm pretty fucking excited to see an actual Galactus in this upcoming movie. Now, cut to 2 weeks from now when the next episode comes out and we discuss Fantastic Four First Steps, it may look like shit and Galactus might suck and that movie might suck. But you know what? At least it's better than a fucking space cloud. Rant over. All right, so where do we land on Silver Surfer? Yay or nay?
In terms of look or just as a villain?
Overall character, yay or nay?
Nay.
I say yay. I think he adds a fun element to this movie that is at least something that's more interesting than anything we got in the last movie.
I just think it's all undercooked. I think
it is. But it's something. Would you rather eat nothing?
All right.
Or a little bit of something.
If you're comparing
undercooked?
it to Doom in the first one, it's a little better. So
yeah, you already get a better antagonist. I think, okay, while they butcher my boy, while they butcher Galactus, at least there is that like oncoming threat that at least you have something driving the plot forward. You know, it's not like the first movie where it's like, oh hey, they get their powers and fuck around for an hour and then now it's time to fight Doctor Doom. At least in this one, it kicks off with like, you're like, oh, like what's this entity? Okay, you find out about the Silver Surfer and whatnot. Yeah, I agree. Like the whole stuff with Sue can come across a little corny at times in terms of just like how they talk to each other. But I don't know. I think the inclusion of Silver Surfer as a whole, it enhances the movie. It, again, like we said, these movies are very close in terms of quality, but I appreciate that this movie is a lot shorter. It's around 90 minutes. It's in, it's out, it's snappy. It moves pretty quick. And you do get the Silver Surfer. And one of my other positives is it's stupid. I'm not going to say it's not, but it does feel like very comic booky, and it's them once they're exposed to the Silver Surfer's power or whatever, they start exchanging powers. So like if like Johnny touches the thing, now Johnny has like a rock body, and you know, Michael Chiklis is back and he's not a big rock monster and he has fire powers, or Johnny and Sue and they're switching powers. I thought that stuff was kind of fun, goofy comic book stuff that I do like. Like it did hold my interest more than the shit in the first movie because it is a little fun, it is a little different. I don't know.
So I think there's a lot of other parts in this movie that kind of go on a little too long. A lot of segments like the wedding, or that whole thing. I didn't check how long it goes, but like with the bachelor party, you know, fantastic on the dance floor. Like there's just a lot of like goofier.
Oh, you don't like him dancing with two girls?
No. Like it's just, I don't know. It just got goofy to me, and not like comic book goofy. It was just silly for too long.
Yeah, I don't like those bits.
So, you know, there's that, and then I'm trying to think like where it goes after the wedding. It gets ruined by that's when you get the chase with Johnny, which is fine. That's a fun scene.
Yeah, it's a fun little chase scene. I like him going up to space.
Yeah, he brings him out to space, but then he drops him, and he pretty much falls into the desert, and he's fine. Like there's a moment where he does flame on a second, and he like
I think that broke his fall a little bit.
I don't see how, because he flies downward still. He doesn't.
No, he It's like a little elevated. Like he goes like a little bit up. Like I think it's just enough to like so that he's not like breaking his neck. I agree. But whereas in that one he does flame on a little bit before he hits the ground. In the first one, he's like flying in the air and then his flames completely disappear and then he falls like 30 feet. That's why that first one was a little bit more ridiculous to me. No, I don't know. I see where your criticisms lie. Like, those are, like, the goofy elements that I don't particularly love. I don't like the whole bachelor party stuff. It's just, like, very out of character for Reed Richards. It doesn't feel in line with who he is. I don't think this movie needed to bring Doctor Doom back. I think that was just... Like, what's the point? You already have the Silver Surfer. You already have the oncoming threat of Galactus. You do not need to reintroduce Doctor Doom for this. It almost felt like this little side quest because they're like, oh, well, the Silver Surfer's going to help us. He's going to go fight Galactus, but he needs his board back. But oops, Doctor Doom took the board because he's a fucking asshole. Like, what is Doctor Doom's plan? Does he want to go fight Galactus? Did I miss like a part where he says that or...
So that's why I don't think like having Silver Surfer, even though he's not as bad as like say the Doctor Doom depiction in the first one was, you still get an additional Doctor Doom in this one, and even heavier emphasis on him, which is bad. It's like equally as bad. So like that kind of it doesn't really fix the villain problem, and Galactus is just butchered even more. Yeah. So now you have three villains. You have two of the three that are just like, so Silver Surfer isn't enough to elevate the villain aspect of this movie, and I don't even care for him as a villain. He's just a little better than Doom in the first one, but then he stops becoming a villain and it just becomes Doom as the main villain. And Would you
agree though that this movie moves quicker than the first one?
Yes, it has an overall faster pace, but I'm weirdly not as entertained, and maybe that's because I have like a history with the first one.
Yeah.
So that one doesn't feel like it drags, even though I know it drags, like technically it does drag, but it doesn't feel like a slog to me. It's weird. I don't know. This one did, even though it had more action sequences. Something I didn't like about this one is that they're established now as like the Fantastic Four family, even more so, and you don't get any of that in this movie. I don't think you get any parts where they legitimately come together as a unit, and they do in the first one. This one in London, I think, with the Ferris wheel, dude. Like Johnny, man, like his fucking ego is still there, and it's just like there is no collaborative like effort here. He first off, the fact that he chooses to fly through the Ferris wheel instead of just around it, and he goes through it. He lights Mr. Fantastic on fire. He almost kills everybody because he just wants to chase him. It's just, I don't know. You don't get any of that. It's like, dude, this group is like so dysfunctional.
They are.
So like it's more because it's the second movie. So I get the first one. There's a little leeway. They're kind of getting used to it. They're established. I don't expect to be seeing that in this first one, and I do. And then at the last scene, they don't even come together. They just give all their powers to Johnny. So it's just Johnny in the fight. It's not like they I don't know. And and the end for Doctor Doom is just weird. He just gets hit and he goes in the ocean, and that's it. They don't there's nothing after that. I'm like, oh.
There's a post-credit scene in this movie, and it doesn't have anything to do with Doctor Doom.
Yeah, so it's just strange. It's just really strange.
Yeah.
Is Galactus defeated too
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes,
he's like
1,000%.
Aren't him and Doctor Doom like the most powerful like Marvel villains, like, or at least a couple of them?
They are for sure two of the strongest villains. They're up there with Magneto is extremely powerful. But no, like Galactus is defeated way too fucking easily in this.
By his minion, Silver Surfer.
Yeah. It really should not go down like that. Listen, I'm not gonna say that this movie is perfect. Like we said, these movies are very similar in quality to each other. I just think that this one, if I'm gonna try to remove, because I agree with you, I have more nostalgia for that first one. I remember watching it and enjoying it more as a kid. But when I'm trying to take both of these movies at face value, comparatively, I think that the second movie, it doesn't do much better, but it is in a few areas slightly improved. I think, like I said, I think the special effects are a little bit better. Not a lot, but a little bit better than the first movie. I think there's more action set pieces in this movie. Like, listen, I'm watching a comic book movie. I'm watching a superhero movie. I want some fun action scenes. And I just think that in the second movie, you get more action. It is a little bit snappier. Like I said, I like that it is shorter. And while the villains aren't, I'm not even going to say good in either of these movies. I think they really massacre all of these characters in like a ludicrous fashion. But at least in the third or in the second film, you just get more. And like, I know you've said in the past that just doing more does not inherently make it better. I think when it comes to blockbusters, especially like a superhero film, the last thing I want to be is bored. And not to say that constant action can't be boring. I think Venom 3, The Last Dance, is like one of the most boring films I've seen in the last couple of years. But when it comes to these two movies specifically, if neither of them are going to do anything great or super well, I'm going to at least prefer the one that at least moves a little quicker, it is snappier, and it's just got a little bit more of that comic book superhero action that you want to see in these kinds of movies. Like, you don't want to see just nothingness bullshit for 45 minutes to an hour. At least this one, the plot is continuously moving. Whereas in the first one, I feel like there isn't really a plot. I don't know. That's just where I kind of land with these movies.
So I agree. It feels like it's moving at a better like pace, but I just don't think the believability is there with a lot of the things within it. So I don't know. It's kind of like there's more happening in Spider-Man 3. A lot of people find that way funnier and more entertaining, but it's just not better. And I know you kind of like, you said, I get Spider-Man 1 and 2 definitely bring a lot of like fun action sequences, and the first one and the first Fantastic Four doesn't. So you're saying if they're both going to be that, I'd take this one. But I think it's just like, I enjoy watching the characters a little bit more. I enjoy them as a whole a little bit more in the first one. I don't think the I'm trying to think what I was going to say about the second one. Damn it, I lost my train of thought. Big plot point I have a problem with. So just because you're doing more, just because you're like bringing this at like a quicker pace, you're not like, it's not like, going like moving so slow, dude. To bring Doctor Doom back in the way you do, and then like just have the military just say, well, hey, listen, we know the Fantastic Four, we know all the events of the first one, but we're going to team up with Doom because we don't believe you could get the job done. It wouldn't happen. It's a lazy way to incorporate him back in, and they incorporate him, and he's fucking terrible. He's still terrible. So just the writing decisions in this, I don't know. It's just it just seems like.
I don't think your Spider-Man comparisons really work here, because the difference is Spider-Man 1 and 2 are good movies. Spider-Man 3 is bad. Yes, someone could say that maybe Spider-Man 3 is more entertaining but it's usually because it's so bad. It does so much batshit dumb things that like it is fun. Mm-hmm. The difference here is we're comparing two bad movies. So when it comes to two bad movies, the movie that has like the better special effects, that is frankly a better edited movie just on a pacing level. Like, the movie it's not just because it's shorter, it's just paced better in my opinion. Like, you even highlighted that the pacing in the first movie was terrible. I at least appreciate and respect that this plot does feel like it does move. I do agree some of the scenes last too long. They do try to cram in too much stuff. The Doctor Doom inclusion is terrible. But again, when I'm comparing two bad products, I'm going to take the one that at least is more fun. But it's not just fun because it does dumb shit. Like, yes, there is dumb shit, but I do just on a technical level think it's better. I think in this movie, you get a lot more scenes that don't feel like sets, whereas in the first movie, it's like every single scene I'm watching, it feels like a studio backlot. Whereas this one, I know it had 30 million more, but that's going to factor into how I rate these movies, because there are scenes that I don't want to say they look good, but they do look like they're at an actual location. It doesn't just look like, the back lot of a studio. It looks like they're actually there. And at least being in a believable environment, I don't know, it adds to some of the scenes. The special effects are upgraded. Sure, that Silver Surfer doesn't look great at all times. I do love the scene though where Doctor Doom just annihilates the military guy and like blows like pieces off of him with his upgraded surfboard powers now. I don't know. You get some fun chase sequences between the characters. You get some fun action set pieces. You just get overall a more enjoyable movie, in my opinion, than the first one. Like there were so many times.
I think you get a dumber one though. I think you get a dumber. I
don't think it's that much dumber, because the first one is also incredibly dumb.
Yeah, I don't think it's as dumb. Like I said, I think
they're equally
there was
dumb.
more things. There was more things in the second one that just made no sense to me.
I guess, but like on a technical filmmaking level, I just think there's a little bit more in the second one. Like,
maybe,
it's not,
but not by much. It's not like it looks great. So like it's slightly. But I think there's
that's my argument with the dumber thing, because I think that, like, I don't know, maybe the first one is slightly less dumb, but they're both really dumb. They're comic book movies about like 4 characters who get fucking superpowers from a space ray of energy. Like, I don't know. The logic to me, I don't know. I when it comes to a superhero movie, I think logic takes a little bit of a backseat, and the
not
overall,
if you're dealing with logical things. Like, I'm not saying like logic in the sense of like that have to do with the superheroes. I'm talking about the grounded moments of it, like the military.
Even the military stuff, that feels like it's out of like a comic book. Like, it's dumb, sure, and like you could say that just because it is a part of a comic book doesn't make it good for the movie, but like that feels like a plot that would be in a movie where like the military is like, hey, work with this supervillain, even though we all know he's a supervillain. Like,
well, then I wouldn't like that comic book. Then I wouldn't like the comic book.
No, and like, listen, that's completely fair. But again, like, I have to factor in what they're going for at some point, and I think both of these movies attempted to be fun action adventure superhero movies, and I think the second one just does a slightly better job at filling that role. I think I would put it on over the first one. If I put it on over the first one, or if I put it on the second one, I know I'm going to at least in and out 90 minutes watch a fun movie that has some dumb, cheesy stuff in it. I'll have a couple laughs. It's not going to be great, but I might enjoy the experience a little bit more than if I put on the first one, where I'm just going to be bored for a lot of the scenes. At least personally.
I think the bridge sequence probably looks better than any of the other action.
No. Even the bridge, no, like I think in the second one there's just more stuff going on. Like I think it is a Ferris wheel, right? I think that whole set piece is like an upgraded version of the. Fun fact, I didn't mention it, but it took 5 weeks to shoot the bridge scene in the first one. I remember hearing that.
Sounds like a nightmare.
Yeah. Not as bad as some of our old film shoots when we would make short films, right? And it's like 20 degrees out, walking on frozen lakes and shit.
Yeah.
But the good old days. But no, I don't know. Overall, I don't really have I took very few notes on the second film, and guys, there really just wasn't a lot of fun facts. But I don't know. I like
make all of his clothes.
Probably.
Okay, because they stretch with him, like his tuxedo stretches.
Yeah, I assume he's always wearing, some stretchy clothes. Now that he's a, Mr. Fantastic and whatnot. I wrote in my notes, Julian McMahon is not my Doctor Doom. That was like one of my 8 notes that I wrote.
I like when I hear his Australian accent come out, more so in the first one.
Yeah. Well, did you read why?
No.
So apparently the script was constantly being rewritten on the first film, so they'd be giving him his new lines like a couple of hours before filming, or like at best like a day before. So he had to learn all of these new lines like very short before he would have to actually perform them. So that's why the accent is a little in and out there. Just like, I know we talked about the look and the writing of the character, but I don't know. I think Lawrence Fishburne is a great choice to voice the Silver Surfer. I think he's just got like a very natural, good voice for a character like that, and I thought it fit the character pretty well.
I didn't even know he voiced him.
Really?
Yeah, I did not. I didn't see his name on there or anything.
Oh yeah. Lawrence Fishburne did the voice, and then Doug Jones, who is Abe Sapien in the Hellboy movies. He plays the lead character in Shape of Water. He's commonly known for doing like the physical stuff for creatures and whatnot. He was the physical part of that character. So pretty cool little tag team there.
I hate that when Sue goes to talk to Silver Surfer
Yeah.
and she like sneaks in there and he's like his walls are all glass. I hate that she doesn't stay invisible.
Yeah. No, yeah.
Hate that. Oh my god.
I will say, I was looking at my notes, and it's kind of a testament to one of your criticisms about the whole military thing. I am fine from like a comic book storyline perspective, letting Doctor Doom back into the story. I don't think it was executed well, but I think hypothetically it could work. But my issue is that he's a supervillain. Why is he not constantly under surveillance by the military?
Yeah.
Like they should be watching him with like hawk eyes at all times. All times.
And I don't really know what he
way.
does. I don't think he does anything to help them. I think it's still Reed that like comes up with the thing to like separate the Surfer from the board. I don't know what Victor does.
Yeah, Reed's a lot smarter than Doom. Like, I mean, maybe not a lot. They're very close, but I don't know. I know you're gonna hate it. I know for a fact you don't like this line of dialogue or this scene, but I kind of liked when Reed Richards claps back at the military sergeant when he's like, "Yeah, well, you know what? I didn't play high school. I'm gonna paraphrase. He's like, I read my books like a good little nerd, and now I'm one of the smartest fucking people in the world. I'm engaged to the hottest girl in the world, and you're asking for my help." I like that scene. I like it. I like it.
Seemed
feels-
a little seemed very out of nowhere. I don't know where he got that confidence.
That's character development, man. That's what we want. That's what we want. That's what we need. I don't know about you, but I'm pretty tapped out. While I do think that the second film is more fun, it's usually I'm not gonna say that there's a lot better going, or I don't even know what I'm trying to say here. It's not a much better movie. I just think it's more fun. It's more entertaining. But the reasons I think it's more fun and entertaining are because I think it's paced better. Special effects are a little bit better. I don't know. That's where I land.
Yeah. Nah, yeah, I think this is like just slightly weaker than the first one. I just don't think either of these movies are good at all.
Yeah, nah. There's no reason to watch these other than like nostalgia, or I don't know. If you want to like highlight how good like Spider-Man 1 and 2 are, or X2 X-Men United, watch these and then watch those, and it's a nice comparison.
I do think
right.
that I think that the second movie, I think it starts out very, very slow and not engaging because you have that whole subplot of the wedding just being like the forefront of what's going on.
I don't know. You could say, but then you could highlight what you liked about the first one, where it's just the characters hanging out and talking. You don't mind watching.
I'm like at least more entertained by that somehow.
Yeah, but that's what happened. That's what the like beginning of this movie is. It's them like planning for the wedding and just hanging out and like talking shit to each other.
Yeah, it just seems, it doesn't seem as
At least the second movie is fucking going somewhere. It's just the first one is just nothing.
I'll give
nothing.
you that.
There's just nothing going forward. Anyway, do you think we should get into our ratings?
Yeah, I think I'm good.
Yeah, I mean, I just feel like there's not. I'm impressed that we got this much out of these. All right. Well, do you want to go first, or should I kick off?
I can go first.
Yeah. Take it away with Fantastic Four.
I'm gonna land Fantastic Four on a 3.6.
3.6. Okay, that's not bad. I'm going to give Fantastic Four 2005 a 3.4 out of 10.
Cool.
And I'm going to give Fantastic Four Rise of the Silver Surfer a 3.8. A little bit higher.
I am gonna give Silver Surfer a 3.3.
Ooh, you really did not like that movie, huh?
Yeah, I was very bored with it. Like, I don't know. I was just very bored. I didn't care about anything that was happening in that movie. It was just I don't know.
I
And
didn't
then
care
and then
about
when he,
anything that was happening in either of them.
yeah, but I still maybe I just have a slight.
It's
I at least-
nostalgia.
I was maybe, but
It's the
I've
nostalgia.
I've very much turned on nostalgia sometimes. So like, yeah, I don't
Fair
know.
enough.
Maybe I just can enjoy it more. I don't know. But
One of these days, you'll
especially
be
as soon as Silver Surfer took an immediate back seat as the villain, I was like, okay, yeah, this is really going down. And then like Galactus comes in. It's just it just immediately becomes crammed. Like too overbloated.
Yeah. No, I agree.
So yes, there is more going on, but I don't like what's going on.
It's still such a testament how many times we've highlighted using too many villains in a movie can like really hurt the overall narrative structure. But it's just a testament to Spider-Man No Way Home and how they are able to have all of those villains and it still somehow works as well as it does. I don't know. It's pretty, dude. Even like you could say the same thing about the Dark Knight. You know, essentially having two villains, like three if you count like the mob and stuff. Like I don't know.
Because there's still Scarecrow moments in that movie too. I mean, that's very slight, so maybe not.
The opening scene,
Yeah,
that's the only one. All right, but before we get out of here, also no reason to recommend next franchise because we'll just be continuing this one. Of course, guys, in the next episode, we are every other Tuesday, so 2 weeks from now, we will be releasing the next episode that'll close out this series. We're going to be talking about Four Stick and also the new Fantastic Four First Steps, new Marvel film. So if you guys don't want to be spoiled for those movies, definitely go and check them out. And of course, let us know in the comments down below what you thought about these movies. And obviously on the next episode, especially what you thought of the new Fantastic Four First Steps. We'd love to engage with you guys on that. But before we do our closing thoughts and our due diligence, I got a little statement for you, Josh.
Oh, a statement.
A statement. Did you know if prisoners could take their own mugshots, they'd be called selfies? Yeah, there it is. Another banger. Another
Not
banger.
bad. Not bad.
Not bad. It's not bad. I've had better. I've had worse. But yeah, guys, of course, thank you again for listening as always. Make sure if you listen to us on YouTube, you're on my personal former film student YouTube channel. Definitely check out some of my other videos. I talk about movie and TV related content. And by the time this episode is up, I've been thinking about doing a video in relation to this episode called The One Fantastic Four comic you should read before seeing Fantastic Four First Steps. I'm thinking about doing that video. So it will probably be out by now. If not, it'll be out soon, so definitely check that out. Subscribe there. Leave a comment if you'd like. Leave a like, all that good stuff. We're also on Spotify and Apple Podcast. But that's it for me.
Yeah, guys. So head over to Instagram. Give us a follow. Comment on any of those posts. Look out for future episodes coming in. DM us whatever you want. Any suggestions or criticisms, or if you just want to chat. Or if you want to email us, you can email us at franchisedeepdive@gmail.com. But yeah, appreciate you listening. Give us whatever future suggestions you want to hear about any franchises we have not covered so far. That's all I got.
All right, guys. Well, one last time, we appreciate you guys listening. Yeah, that's really it for today. We'll see you on the next episode of Franchise Deep Dive. Goodbye.